You ever use an app and it just magically gets better overnight? Like new features pop up, bugs just disappear? How on earth does that happen so smoothly? Well, the answer is this really powerful concept called CI/CD. Think of it as the secret engine that's powering modern software, getting it from a developer's brain all the way to your screen, sometimes in just a few minutes.
Oh, we've all been there, right? That feeling when you're so excited for a new update. You tap that button and boom, the app is a total buggy mess. That experience right there is exactly what we're diving into. The massive difference between a seamless update and a complete digital train wreck. It's all about the process happening behind the scenes.
So, to really appreciate why this new way is such a game changer, we got to take a little trip back in time. Let's look at the old way of doing things, something I like to call the release day nightmare.
Okay, so picture this. You've got developers working for months, cramming hundreds, maybe thousands of changes into one gigantic all-or-nothing release. The pressure is just insane. The whole team is basically holding their breath, because if one single tiny thing is wrong, the entire system could just fall apart. I mean, it was a process built on risk, stress, and these super long, anxious waits for everyone, developers and users alike.
And wow, the difference couldn't be more night and day. You're basically shifting the entire philosophy. You're going from these massive, super stressful Big Bang releases to a model of small, steady, incremental changes. And that turns a high-risk gamble into a low-risk, predictable routine. So instead of waiting months for a single update, you're getting them all the time. It takes a process that was just unbelievably stressful and makes it, well, almost calm.
So the big question is, how did the tech world escape this nightmare? Well, they built a smarter way. And that brings us right to the heart of this explainer, CI/CD.
All right, let's break this down. The first piece of the puzzle is CI. That's continuous integration. I love this analogy. Think of a team of writers all working on the same book. Now, instead of each of them hiding away for months writing their own chapter, they add their new paragraphs to the main book every single day. And as soon as they do, an automated editor swoops in and checks to make sure the new stuff fits, doesn't create any plot holes. That's exactly what CI is for code. It's all about constant teamwork and automatic quality checks.
So, once CI gives the thumbs up, the second half of the equation kicks in. That's CD, or continuous deployment. And this is the really cool part. It's the system that automatically goes, okay, everything passed the tests, let's ship it. And it just pushes that change out to you, the user, without a single human having to click a button. This is literally how your favorite apps can get better multiple times in one day, and you don't even notice it's happening.
Yeah, and our source material from Assignment Vines really nails it. When they say agile, it just means you can react to new ideas super fast. Predictable, that means you can say goodbye to those crazy release day surprises. And resilient means that if some little thing does break, it's no big deal to fix because the change itself was tiny. At the end of the day, it's a system that gives you two things that used to be complete opposites, speed and stability. Okay, so we get the what and the why. But how does all this automated magic actually happen? Let's pull back the curtain and take a look inside the pipeline itself.
So every single little code change goes on this incredible journey. It all starts the second a developer hits save in a shared place like GitHub. Instantly, the pipeline kicks into gear. First, it builds the code, kind of like putting the Lego pieces together to make the final model. Then, it gets hit with a whole battery of automated tests to find any bugs. If and only if it passes all those checks, it gets automatically deployed. But wait, it's not done. From there, it's constantly monitored in the real world to make sure it's running smoothly. And that's why that assembly line analogy is just perfect. It's not just that it's automated, it's that it's standardized. Every single change, whether it's a tiny typo fix or a huge new feature, goes through the exact same rigorous quality control process. It guarantees a consistent, reliable product every single time. Nothing bad gets out the door. All right, so we've got this amazing automated software factory. So what? What are the real-world benefits? Why should a business, or, you and me as users, actually care about this?
Well, the advantages all kind of stack on top of each other. I mean, sure, automation gives you faster delivery. That's obvious. But the real magic is the improved quality you get from all that nonstop automated testing. And when you're only making small changes, the risk of a huge system-crashing failure just plummets. This whole thing creates a process that's super clear and reliable, which just naturally leads to better collaboration. And when you combine all of that, fast, high-quality, low-risk updates, what do you get? The holy grail, higher customer satisfaction. And look, this isn't just some fancy trick for Silicon Valley giants. It's a game changer for companies of all sizes. You've got the big players, like Google and Netflix, using it to push out tons of updates every single day. But then you have startups who use it to move fast and compete without needing a massive testing team. And even huge, old-school companies are getting on board to modernize their dusty old systems and get more agile.
Now let's be real. This isn't a magic wand you can just wave. Switching to this way of working has some very real challenges, but the future it's leading us to is pretty darn exciting.
Yeah, the switch can be tough. Honestly, the biggest roadblock is often just cultural resistance. Getting people to let go of old habits and actually trust the robots. Then there are the upfront costs. The tools and servers aren't free. And the automation itself is a skill. Writing good tests is hard work. Plus, you have to build security in from the very beginning, not just tack it on at the end.
But looking ahead, this whole process is about to get a lot smarter. The next big leap is adding AI into the mix. Just imagine a pipeline that uses machine learning to actually predict which bits of code are probably going to cause a bug before it even runs a single test. And this isn't some far-off sci-fi dream. This is where things are headed, towards these incredibly intelligent, almost self-healing systems.
And that leaves us with a really fascinating thought, doesn't it? As we get better and better at automating away all the technical glitches, is the biggest bug left to fix? Just us? Human error? Definitely something to chew on. Thanks for joining us for this explanation.